Hello everybody and welcome back to part 10 of my playthrough of Final Fantasy II on the Pixel Remaster collection. We're getting very close to the end game now, and if you remember following on from last time, we're now at Malboro Tower, and we're at the point of no return for certain enemies, so if you haven't grabbed the enemies I mentioned at the end of the last episode, make sure you do, because now, once we go in here and finish this dungeon, those are locked out. And we've activated something in the tower. Just from our presence and the crystal rod opening the gate. In here there's going to be 24 chests we're looking for, and I think it's 8 new enemies, as well as a massive amount of enemies that we've previously fought. This area's got 24 enemy types in total, I believe. But first chest is up here on the left, and then we want to head to the centre to get the next one. Hidden wall here to go through. Then we can grab this chest here, and then there's the one on the right. Obviously the white robe will be a nice improvement, similar to how the black robe was, or the black garb was. But just chuck it on whoever you feel like you need. Ricard's our character who's going to need the most improvement at the moment, but gear him up as best as you can. He's going to be with us for a little while. Chests over here, and then the remaining one is in the bottom right of this area. And Vampire Girl, this is one of the enemies we're looking for here. They can heal off of attacking us, but mainly it's the case of if you cast any HP removal, it will instead heal them. Definitely something I'll show off with the Bloodsword later, with auto-attacking some enemies, where I will heal them instead of dealing damage to them. And there's another enemy there that we're looking for, the Imp. Should be pretty easy to go down. Not really anything to worry about here. The Vampire Girl is probably one of the most dangerous ones we can fight, along with Malboros and the Death Flowers, the upgraded version of those that we'll encounter on this floor. But here we are on floor 2, and there's 2 areas we want to go to. There's a chest in the top left, and 2 chests in the top right, so we're going to head to the top right first. Just again, make sure you keep healed up, because there's a lot of enemies that can paralyze you or petrify you in this dungeon. Such as the Basilisks. They will use gaze on you, which has a high chance of turning you to stone. But yeah, 2 party members focusing them at the same time should be able to take them out. Well, Therian seems to be able to handle everything by himself for me at the moment. And then grab these 2 chests here. Now we want to go all the way to the top left side. And we'll grab that remaining chest. A lot of the enemies in here that we're looking for, at least 3 of them will be main story bosses, and another 2 will be ones that we'll encounter in chests. So the Basilisk, Malboro Terra, and Vampire Girls are the ones that you're looking for. The rest we'll get automatically while we're in here. But man, yeah, I do not particularly enjoy this dungeon. But it's not too difficult. It's just a massive amount of floors and enemies to go through, even though a lot of them we will deal with typically with 1 attack. And then to go to the next area, we want to go through the stairs to the bottom right. And as you can see, we're coincidentally getting a lot of fire stuff on this floor, so just bear that in mind. And on the 3rd floor up here, the floor is lava, so we're going to take a lot of damage as we walk through. We want to go through the leftmost door over here. And yes, again, stepping on the lava will just cause us to take damage. But nicely, you can't get encounters while you're walking on this type of terrain. And this will take us randomly up to here in the top left, although how that works, I have no idea. And now we'll go and grab the chest on the far right. And then we need to go up these stairs to grab the chest on the top left and the top right. So Malboro Terra, improved version of the Malboro, just hit a bit harder, as well as more likely to paralyze us based on its attacks. So again, anytime you encounter a Malboro, take them out first. Not that it's in your control, but try not to get ambushed by them. If you ever feel in a little bit of worry, just make sure you keep making quick saves as you go through the dungeons. So that's the chest over there. We've also been poisoned. Need to clear that off. And then chest in the top right and top left. just go and grab those. Hopefully you won't get the encounter as soon as you step onto land like I do. Yeah, Ricard's HP and stats are going to be a problem for us, and a lot of these characters start with no magic, and considering they're temporary, I'm not going to teach them magic. I find no reason to. But yes, as you may have noticed, we got a lot of fire equipment. Mainly offensive and defensive. But the next room we're going to go to is going to make us fight an enemy that is going to be very weak to ice, and fire will resist. Because unsurprisingly, that's why they're giving us all of that stuff. So come in here and speak to the mage in front of us. Yeah, if you've got any ice weaponry, feel free to equip that. And if you feel like you could do with some extra protection, equip the flame armor that you've got. But we're going to be fighting a Gigas, an upgraded Gigas. You made good progress, but you must defeat me if you are to continue. And he has shapeshifted into something very big. And yeah, here we go. Fire Gigas, 1800 HP, but its HP is actually quite low considering a lot of things we've been fighting. It's just its armor is incredibly tough, but we will get through it. Just keep attacking through, or just cast ice magic if you have any. It's not really something I've been going out my way to get, but the ice bow on Maria is going to do an awful lot of damage to him. Therian, when he crits, will do a fair amount of damage, plus the reliability we've got of the Ripper Dagger that will guarantee do 160 to 180 per swing. So a couple of rounds and that's the Gigas down. However, that's not the only Gigas we're going to fight here. You may see a common trend as we go through each set of floors. But yeah, heal up and re-equip after this, because you may not have had the best equipment on anymore, and we're in floor 4. So a few more chests we want to go and grab, the first one being in the very top left. And then we want to follow the path all the way down. So grab this one. No new enemies there. We get an ice shield. And we want to go up these stairs along these pointy sets of ice. These will cause damage as you walk across them, similar to the lava. A lot of the areas have ways around them, but just run through them. It's 1 damage per step, so not really a problem. But there we go, we're getting ice weaponry, so I wonder if this floor is going to contain an ice Gigas. We'll have to wait and find out once we get to the exit. But yes, yeah, once we finish up here, there's going to be a chest directly below us now, and then another chest in the dead centre of the area. And we're heading to the top right to go up the next set of stairs. Ice gloves, so some more ice protection. But not really an improvement on a lot of the equipment we're wearing. Giant's glove increasing our attack is what I've got on most characters at this point. But yeah, you should be able to see a chest directly in the centre of your screen now below the stairs where we originally came up. And then the top right is the exit. But yeah, Ricard is definitely, his HP is definitely proving to be a problem, but I don't have the time or the interest to power level him, especially when he's a temporary party member. Yeah, so massive variety of enemies. You can see here your encounter rate is probably, if it's anything similar to mine, I don't know if I'm just getting unlucky or everybody's is like this, but we'll keep reaching a lot of them. So now on this floor, there's only really one way to go. So run all the way around. We'll take a lot of damage as we step over the icicles. And we're going to come up to a chest on the right. Open that. Another ice weapon. But yeah, this time make sure you've equipped a lot of fire weaponry, just because we'll get the extra damage on the ice Gigas that we're coming up to. As soon as we get past all of these annoying encounters. Here we go, here's the next one we can interact with. Yeah, just make sure you've got flame equipment on. And then ice armor if you're worried. Yeah, definitely try and avoid having ice equipment on. Because he will absorb it, so heal him up. And this is our second stat check. He's going to shapeshift again. Similar to before, just wail on him. If you're worried about dealing reliable damage, just cast some fire on them. Somehow we got ambushed, even though, you know, we saw him shapeshift in front of us and challenge us to a fight. So how this was an ambush fight, God knows. But yeah, we'll do a bit more reliable damage to this one. It's about 2,000 HP, I believe, so slightly tougher than the previous one. But still, nothing to worry about. Ricard might get one shot, but everybody else should go down. Or everybody else should be completely fine to take a couple of hits. But the fire spell here doing loads of damage, 700 plus, and that's the Ice Gigas down. So now we're going to be up to the next floor. We'll have to see what we get on the next one. Yeah, heal up after the fight. Re-equip your best equipment, because you probably downgraded to the flame equipment because it's slightly weaker than the ice equipment. Why ice is stronger than fire, I don't quite know, but I assume it's just because it was the order they gave it to you in the game. Yeah, just keep everybody topped up. Not that the encounters in here are too dangerous unless you get ambushed by the Malboros. So in here there's two chests we want, one on the far right and then one in the middle that you probably saw at the bottom. So go directly right, grab this one here, and then back all the way across the bridge, far right side, and then all the way down and to the left. Ah, Devil's Bloom, so the upgraded version of Devil's Blossom, or whichever it was called. These again have a high chance of charming you, paralysing you, confusing you, and poisoning you. As you can see there, Maria is affected by quite a few status effects, so take these out anytime you encounter them. Just make sure you get rid of them. Head all the way over, up this little cross section, and there's a chest on the left. And then go through the doorway on the far left to take us to the next area and the next floor. Wizard Staff, nice increase upgrade there for Guy. Still can't believe how Guy talks in this game, and the fact that he apparently knows how to speak Beaver from a few dungeons ago where we learned that. Why he can speak Beaver and the fact that you never encounter Beavers again is a mystery to me. So in here, chest in the very bottom, the top right, and the very top. So just loop around and get all of these, and the exit way is the top left door. So we're just going to loop around this room and grab all that, and get the many encounters we're going to get on the way. Bleed through our potions to heal Ricard as opposed to cure spells, just in case we end up having a couple of fights in a row that will bog us down and use a lot of MP. But yeah, picking up the Hermes shoes there. It's not an equipable item, which I thought it was. It's just something that gives you haste if you use it on an enemy. It's just a regular item. But yeah, this is definitely me misremembering some of the equipment. And then Unicorn Horn I've checked before, but it should be something that cures off one of the status ailments. So top left, and we're going to get to the next Gigas, but we've not really had any hints from the chests of what this Gigas is going to be. But if you couldn't guess, it's going to be the Thunder Gigas. So not really anything we can equip to be better geared against him, but he is weak to poison and absorbs lightning, so just don't cast any thunder spells on him. But there we go, another shapeshift. Hopefully we don't get ambushed by the giant transforming demon that we know in front of us. But it's not a demon, but you know what I mean. And this one has 2,500 HP, so a bit tougher than the... well, 500 HP more than the last one we fought. Has the same around about the same amount of defense, so just keep wailing on him if you so choose. The critical hits will deal him a lot of damage. Boulder will hit for around that much, and then he also has the ability to use, I believe it's called Thunderbolt, which will just hit all of our characters for a fair amount of lightning damage, similar to Blizzard from the Ice Gigas. Sorry for the audio issues here, not quite sure what's going on with the game, but hopefully that's sorted now. But yeah, if you're having trouble dealing physical damage, just switch to casting spells. I've only really been leveling fire on all my characters. It's doing 200 to 300 damage per cast, so we'll eventually go through them. Yeah, Maria's taking a lot of damage here, so gonna need to heal her up if this round of spells doesn't take him out. One physical hit could very much put her down here, but thankfully it goes for Fury instead. One more wave of fire magic should take it out, so we can go for that. But, we'll try and guarantee it and heal up Maria. We're going to all activate before. Oh, and it was just one more fire spell. Yeah, if you've got the ability to inflict poison on him, that's another good way of working down this boss as it takes each turn. And now we're getting to the top of the dungeon, and we've got a lot of the chests that we're looking for, so only a couple to go. But yeah, good way to level up were these Gigas fights, because their armor and their toughness, so we're going to get all of our gear pretty much up to level 8, as you can see. A good amount of stat boosts. So heal on up again, because you'll probably need to... you're probably taking a lot of damage from that fight. And we're going to grab our last couple of chests. So now, next chest we want is in the top right. So run all the way to go and grab that. And then the door we're going to want is the one directly below the chest. Now all the others take you to encounter rooms. But yeah, monster encounter in here. Be a little bit careful because Gotoses and Devil's Blooms are in here. Obviously both enemies that we fought previously, or Devil's Bloom is a new enemy for this dungeon. But Gotos is obviously a boss we fought at the top of Castle Finn. And you get the Flare Tome, which I'm going to learn, but not really ever going to cast in this playthrough, because I'd have to spend time leveling it up. So through this door, up the next set of stairs. And we're to the last area with chests in, I believe. So the first one we want is to the bottom left, one to the right, directly above where we are, and then the last one in the top right, before we get to the doors. So grab the one on the right, 4 Malboro Terras, a worrisome encounter. The chest here, and then the next chest that we get in the top right has got the remaining enemy that we're looking for in this dungeon. So make sure you're prepared and maybe do a quick save before you open the chest. And yeah, imps do a lot of poison and venom on Mercado. That was a bit mean. But yes, a white dragon. This was the remaining enemy that we were looking for here. Obviously ice isn't really going to do too much damage to it, and its physical resist is also quite high. But just completely wail on it if you want to, just cast some fire magic on it. Please, I believe, if memory serves, it is weak to fire. I'm trying to remember now, it might be one of the non-elemental ones, but I'm pretty sure it was previously called an ice dragon. So yeah, fire magic is probably the way to go. Ice Storm 16. They have some high level spells, but thankfully not enough to cause us too much of a problem. But heal anybody up that you need to. Thunder is probably not the one to go, but we've done enough damage to it at this point that it should go down for a couple of these spells. Yeah, there we go. Nearly 800 damage from Furium with a fire cast. I believe that's all the enemies I was looking for, but I want to make sure that I'm not wrong here. We've done the Basilisk, we've done the Devil's Bloom, we've done all 3 of the Gigases, we've done the White Dragon, we've done the Malboro Terra, and we found a Vampire Girl. So unless there's an enemy in here that I've not got on my list of encounters, we should definitely have encountered everything. Oh! That's an enemy that's not on my list of encounters. Ice Lizard. So we'll definitely encounter this again later, but the more you know, you can encounter it here. So don't feel too worried if you don't get this encounter. We will definitely encounter it later, because it'll be a regular spawn in a dungeon we go to later on. But if you get it now, perfect. It's one out of the way. But again, obviously going to be weak to fire, hence the ice in the name. But yes, for the doorway, we want the one here, the second on the right. And head all the way up. We're up to the 10th floor, and we're going to encounter our long-lost friend, Minwu, who's been waiting for us. Though I managed to reach the seal, the magic binding it appears to be very strong. I'll concentrate every bit of magic I have. If it is enough, it should shatter. He's going to try and break the seal for us. Everyone stand back. Kamehame. Where was that kind of magic when we had you as a party member? But, yep, the seal's broken, but unfortunately, that was pretty much all of Minwu's life force. So another one of our temporary party members passes along. That's Minwu and Joseph we've lost, and not to mention Scott at the very start. But yeah, through in here, there's a lot of orbs we can interact with. The middle one is the ultimate tome that we want, but interact with all of the other orbs first, because they're going to give you a stat boost. So we get a strength bump, and then they're going to disappear. Each one's going to give us a different stat increase. Power of Earth gives increases our spirit. Water increases our intellect. The four nations lived in harmony, but it's just different crystal elements. Wind will increase our agility. And then the middle spell, or the middle crystal, will give us the ultimate tome. Which, despite the fact it gives you the tome, you don't actually need to learn it. Nor do you ever actually need anybody to cast it. But if you want to, feel free. And then we have a teleport section to get out. But yeah, it's meant to cause a lot of damage when used. And only one character can learn it. Because as with all the tomes, it disappears afterwards. But yeah, teleport back out. And we're going to want to head back to Castle Finn. But I said the overworld encounter now will be a bit different. Hopefully you're on the same as me at 90 or 91. Depends on if you encountered the ice lizard in this dungeon. But yeah, Devil Bloom was one we were looking for in that dungeon. Malboro Terra, Basilisk, ice lizard we encountered, although I didn't believe it spawned in there, but it does. Vampire Girl. There's a couple of other locations we can get a lot of these later, but the earlier the better. Obviously, the 3 Gigases we got because they were guaranteed fights, and then the White Dragon because it was a chest opening. So now it's time for us to head off, and there's going to be a lot more enemies now that you can fight in the overworld in various couple of locations. And obviously, as I mentioned before, at the start of this episode and the end of the last episode, there is going to be overworld encounters that were now gone. We won't encounter them again. So yeah, you can see we got increased leveled enemies in the on the water now. Pit Fiends. There we go. That's a new enemy that we're looking for. Yeah, the area around Mysidia now will have a lot of the same enemies we fought previously, also a lot of new ones. And these are going to be much tougher imps. Kane's at least doing a lot of damage now alongside everybody else, probably due to the weapons he's got more than the amount of fights he's gone upping his strength. But the better it is, the higher it is, the better. yeah, if you want to grab a bunch of new enemies, run around here outside of Mysidia, and we'll pick up a bunch of new ones. But don't worry about it too much, because we'll be going through some dungeons that counter a lot of them later. Yeah, the next area we really want to go to is Finn. But see what encounters we can get over here first. And yeah, the very far right of this this continent we're on is where we're going to get a dungeon later and a bunch of enemy encounters all the way outside and around it. So Salamander, that's another one. So similar to the Ice Lizard, upgraded version of like the Basilisk and that, but more fire design this time. Some enemies are going to get a lot tougher and a lot more damaging with their spells and special abilities that they cast now. And yes, as I go there, I tried to cast fire on it, and it's just completely absorbed it, because I have misremembered that both of these absorb fire. So that was a waste of a round of attacks. Luckily, Ricard is going to do a fair bit of damage to the Salamander for me. If we just do physical attacks now, we'll take that in no time at all. Prolonging that fight when I really didn't need to. And there we go. So we're going to fight some like big blob. Well, they're not going to fight. Well, there's some big blob jelly things that we can encounter around here as well, if my memory serves. The Hecteyes, yes, and there's another version of this that we're going to fight later. Physical attacks will probably be best on them. I can't fully remember what they're weak to. Quickly check my notes now. But they can cast a lot of different debuff status effects on you, like stun, confuse, slow. But weaknesses wise, I don't think it has any. I think it resists all magic. So physical is always the way to go. As much as you probably just glimpsed me casting fire on it there, and then I'll quickly realise that it did almost no damage. But yeah, we've back to Mysidia now. We can talk to a lot of the characters, and they'll notice that we've broken the seal. But sadly, we've lost Minwu. And they'll mention that the Emperor's making movements. So I wonder what's going on here. And based on that there, the Wyverns are making a showing, our Wyvern egg may have hatched. And if you remember, there's a mirror in Castle Finn. So we should be able to contact that Wyvern and hopefully summon it for aid. But yeah, Minwu's passed away. I'm sure a lot of people's upset and disappointment, including mine. I really liked him as a character. It's just a shame a lot of the temporary party members in this you don't get to spend that much time to, other than Leela, who is missing. We don't actually know where she is at the moment. Was she killed by the Leviathan? But yeah, no new encounters, so let's just go back to let's go back on the boat and head back to Finn. Just checking if there were any new sea encounters that I'm looking for, but I don't believe there are. Yeah, we can use the canoe to avoid any encounters. And back up to Finn we go. So we'll head into Finn and just heal up. And we can talk to a bunch of people. And there's a Cyclone that's appeared. What they're talking about, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, we're under attack by a Cyclone, so we're going to have to work out how to deal with that, and I assume it's the Emperor's doing. It's causing a lot of havoc around here, although how the town is fine, I'm not sure. And there you go, you can see it at the very top now. So let's go and speak to Hilda and Gordon and find out what's our next plan. So we can interact with all the NPCs. I like just talking to people. But yeah, just head all the way up. And I'll join you once we get back up there. So we're going to have some new passwords to learn now as well. Ultimate magic is in our hands. What good does it do us? The Cyclone will kill us before we even have a chance to use it. Hey look, Leda's back! When the storm kicked up and the ship went down, I thought you were dead for sure. It's good to be good and wrong. She just left us for dead. How dare she? The Emperor's fell magic can calm even the winds. Poff, Paloom, Altair and Galtier were each destroyed by it, and now the Cyclone is headed for Finn. So make sure you learn the Cyclone password, and then ask her about it. And we can ask about the Wyverns. And they'll tell us how we can summon the Wyverns for help. But yeah, nothing else we can really ask about here. Even though we went and grabbed the Automatome for them, they didn't want to talk about it. So you can ask Gordon about it as well, but obviously without the ability to fly, we can't get in. Luckily, we have the ability to fly. So head back down a floor, or 2 floors. We're going to want to head all the way to the bottom, and then to the stairs in the bottom left. Up 2 sets of floors, and then to the mirror, which is in the room, if you remember, to the very top left. And we can use the pendant and the mirror. So run up to the mirror, interact with it, and then use the pendant key item. So we have a Dragoon with us, so let's get a Wyvern as well. So there's the egg, which, based on what the people in Mysidia were saying, had already hatched, but apparently not. And there's a baby Wyvern. Or is it a baby? The image of a young Wyvern shimmers in the mirror. So the last Wyvern egg is finally hatched, and the Wyvern is speeding towards Finn. It's coming to help us. And there it flies. So we're going to go up to the top of the castle and meet it. No, it's landed at the keep, and somehow it's entered this room. Apparently this room doesn't have a roof, I guess. But yeah, Ricard's going to be happy to have met a Dragoon, to have met a Wyvern. Because, as we found out, they should all be together. And the Wyvern's going to fly all the way into the Cyclone, and we're going to be outside. So make sure you don't head straight into the Cyclone. There's going to be some chests we need to go and get, which are in Finn and in Paul's house specifically. So head into Paul's house and ask him about the Cyclone, which will allow us to do it. Now that we've learned the password, you plan on going into that thing? You do realise that's insane, right? Tell you what, I've been keeping a few things stashed away, and I want you to have them. Try feeling around near the wall, around the wall near my bed. So now head all the way down to the room in the bottom right, and the very top tile on the right is the way we want. Go through, and we're going to get 8 chests. And these have some amazing equipment, one of which Keely being the Blood Sword, which Firion is going to equip, and he's going to make the rest of the game quite a breeze. So if you don't know what the Blood Sword does, it does per hit 1/16 of the opponent's HP and heals you for that amount. But when I say per hit, I mean each individual hit. So when you do an 8-hit combo, you have taken half of the enemy's HP, and you've also healed yourself for that amount. It also means that the weapon, and it does it based on your max HP, not your current HP. It also means that, and this is what we're going to use it for, when you attack something or attack yourself for damage, you heal straight away, so it is non-lethal. So we're going to use the Blood Sword and self-attacking to get a weapon to level 16, as is one of the achievements for this game. But yeah, with all the other armor stuff we got, like we got the Ruby Cuirass and that, just equip everybody up as best you think. And make sure before you go into the Cyclone that we have a spare save ready just in case there was anything that you missed, because we're getting to the last point now where there's only a couple of dungeons left and we're going to go into them one by one. So if there's any missables before now, which I've mentioned a few times of when there was a missable chest or missable enemies, just make sure you have all of those. But yeah, head all the way back out now and we're going to get ready to go into the Cyclone. But I think I'll save that for the next part. So I hope you've enjoyed and been able to follow along, and I hope your bestiary is keeping up with mine. And this is also where we have the complete set of chests from everywhere we visited, now that we've grabbed the rest of the ones in Finn. So yeah, I hope you've been able to follow, and I will catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.